You get what I'm kind of getting at. But for the first stack here, we're talking Jordan Love and the Packers. And what we feel like are the best stacks here. Just to give you some ADP. Jordan Love is quarterback 10 off the board currently. Jayden Reed's wide receiver 34. Christian Watson's wide receiver 45. Dobbs and Wicks are sitting at 52.49. The tight ends, Musgrave is at 17, Tucker Kraft 32, and then you have Josh Jacobs in the running backs. Jacobs is running back 12, and Marshawn Lloyd at running back 45. Steve, let's go to you because you seem to be the highest on this room, especially in best ball drafts. If you're taking Jordan Love, what receivers are you stacking with him, and what's your philosophy in terms of this room in general, and your thoughts on him?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite stacks. I've done it quite a few times so far in the small little chihuahuas and puppies that we've been doing so far, and I'll definitely do these as we get further down the line and as I do more best ball mania drafts. But and I don't really see too many people talking about it. But yeah, Jordan Love last year, 32 touchdowns, 35 overall, threw for 4,000 yards, and the weapons he has here, with these four receivers and throwing Bo Melton there too, if you want to throw him in there, the two tight ends and, Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd. But yeah, you could take Love in the fifth, Jayden Reed in the sixth, the next round or round or two is I kind of pass him up because there's other guys I want, but I'm taking a lot of Christian Watson in the eighth, ninth round to couple him. Now I know the hamstring concerns are obviously, but this guy could easily be the number one receiver. You look at when he's on the field and he's healthy, he's in a groove. He just smashes, touchdowns left and right. Look at the last 2 years, and then you could go down the line and get a Romeo Dobbs. You could also get a Dontavian Wicks. So even if you miss out on Reed or Watson, you could still get a Dobbs. You could still get a Wicks. You could still get one of the tight ends. You could still get Marshawn Lloyd possibly. It's not like Love is one of those quarterbacks like a Lamar Jackson Henry stack is kind of like doesn't really correlate as much because it's either going to be Lamar running it in or Henry running it in, whereas Love is most likely is going to be passing it in. So maybe some dump offs to Lloyd or Josh Jacobs. So you could kind of throw one of those backs in there as well. So yeah, I really think that this Packers team is going to build on what they did last year. We saw how effective this passing game was. And yeah, I love Jordan Love again this year, maybe even over 32 touchdowns or 35 touchdowns total. We'll see. But it's the way you could stack these receivers. There's a lot of value and there's multiple guys you can get. So it's pretty easy to accumulate these guys.
Anthony?
What's appealing now, I'm not as high on Jordan Love as other people, and just to lay that out, he was fifth in pass attempts. If you go back to the Aaron Rodgers years in this offense, he was never better than 10th in passing attempts. So I think we're going to see more running, a little bit less passing, which means Jordan Love is going to be or is going to have to be hyper efficient. And efficiency isn't what Jordan Love does really well. If you look at his efficiency metrics across the board, 23rd in accuracy rating, 28th in true completion rate, 16th in deep ball, 30th under pressure, 20th in clean pocket. What he does the best, he was 4th in play action, and then 15th in the red zone. So not the most efficient quarterback in the world. So if they do pass less, are we going to still get these monster numbers out of Jordan Love? It doesn't mean that this stack isn't good, because what makes this stack attractive is the price of his pass catchers. Nobody's really that expensive. And quite frankly, if you look at the cost of these quarterbacks, Jordan Love going as a quarterback 10 off the board, that's not bad. His receivers, where they're going. So, like, this is a stack. I don't want to call it a value, but I think it's a lower risk, higher reward stack, depending on what pass catchers you get. And the one I would want the most is Jayden Reed. I know Christian Watson's going to get a lot of hype now that he's getting healthier and he's really the big play guy. But what I like about Reed is his versatility. He'll take handoffs. He could do a little bit of everything. I think he'll be the most productive wide receiver in this room. I just don't think this room has a wide receiver one in it. So this isn't going to be the big splash stack, in my opinion, but I don't think we're paying for it either. But again, lower risk, very high reward. If Jordan Love is for real like last year, I just have some worries because, again, if you didn't throw this much with Aaron Rodgers, why are you doing it with Jordan Love? And the answer last year was, well, they had a bad defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Anthony's point of the value here, I mean, I don't know if they have a wide receiver one. I personally, I really believe
They
in
traded for
Christian
Brandon
Watson.
Ayuk, they will.
Well, maybe.
Mm.
I really do believe in Christian Watson's ability. I mean, it's really about health, right? Can he stay healthy? But I mean, last year had an average depth of target of 16.7. So when you talk George Pickens, like this is a guy who has similar ability to stretch the field. And he's got yard after catch ability. So I think if Christian Watson can stay healthy, he's the guy I want to own because he is cheap. I like Jayden Reed. I just think he's capped in terms of his ceiling. And there's just so many playmakers. I prefer taking the discount on Watson, who, when he was on the field and healthy, he led all receivers on the team in targets, touchdowns, catches, yards. So he is the favorite receiver, in my opinion, for Jordan Love. He just needs to stay on the field. And so fingers crossed on a healthy season for him. But this is a cheap stack that, if you feel like you missed out on a couple of guys, you can grab Love later on in best ball and then pair him up with one of these receivers and build out a stack later on in your draft if it doesn't go your way. So there's a lot of value here in this stack overall.
Let's go to our second